So a few minutes late because, well, I was searching for the list that I had that showed me what order all these console arcs that have been released need to be played in, and it's gone. And I don't remember what. It's gone from my PC. I thought I had it saved. Apparently, I forgot to actually save the save the picture, which is quite annoying. Was anybody even out there? I have no idea. Need to contact Twitch about that because I can't bring up the user list in the menu here. Hey, Nagels. So we have console arcs, and as of right now, there are 4 of them that have been translated by the translation group. And judging by the faces on the side, it looks like they're kind of paired up. Looks like they might actually kind of be paired up a little bit. Taraimawashi and Tsukiotoshi. I think those two look like they're paired up because you look like you have dude kind of staring blankly and then happier dude staring blankly. And over here, Samutsushi and Kagabushi. I think that's close to how you might pronounce those. With girl and smiling girl. I'm guessing Tarai and because I'm going to guess that you play them from top down. I don't know. I've tried finding out, but everywhere I went to look up like the play order of these, got into heavy spoiler territory, and I avoided it like I could, I avoided it. So yeah, because, when you see it and the only answers you get are on the wikis, it's like, yeah, I can't really go in there if I want to stay, blind. The only odd thing I did find out was that when we get done with these and eventually we move into game number 6, the one that has one of the others, Sumi Horoboshi, I think, yeah, Sumi Horoboshi. When we get into that one's going to kind of do for, I believe the blurb said chapter 3, what the last chapter did for chapter 2. And that is kind of take us through it from the villain perspective side of things. Or at least another perspective? I don't know. But if we start up that chapter and we end up as, I don't know, Tomatake or Takano, yeah, something's up. That'd be an interesting perspective to play through, wouldn't it? One of those two's perspectives, so we finally see. Is the order still in the Discord? Because I couldn't find it. Oh, not that. Let me look again. Okay. And I can do Stardew Valley pictures. So I don't think it's in that side. If it is in the Discord... Yeah, where was that? I dug through here and did not see that. Where was it? No. Let's save it again to my PC so I don't have to go digging for it again. Let's see. So Tarai, then Sukhoi, then Somet, then Kaga. So, okay, yeah, so that is basically directly following Chapter 3 as far as playtime. Okay. See, I couldn't find that chart anywhere online. I don't know where it is. I don't know where they hide it, but, you know. It was annoying. But thank you very much for reposting that. So yeah, okay, we do begin with this one. In fact, we pretty much just go straight down the line. And I believe they are working on the very next one. Or at least the way they stated it on the forums is like they were working on this one. Or one after this one. Anyway. So we have an alternate take on Onikakushi. Can be read after completion of Chapter 3. Keiichi does his best to avoid the major conflicts in Hinmazawa. Keiichi gets smart. That's what I'm seeing? He does his best to avoid them. Does this mean he actually gets smart? And I have a cat hollering at me. Does this mean we're Keiichi, but we're the Keiichi that tries to avoid doing the stupid things? Blackjack. Blackjack. What? Okay. That's what it says right there anyway. Now that the cat decided he didn't really want to come into my room. He just wants to howl outside. And again, we get laughed at.
人は誰しも辛いことから逃げたがるもの。人は誰しも現実よりも夢を見続けたいもの。越えるべき壁、向き合う現実から目をそらし続けた先に手に入れるものは一体何なのか。そして失われるものはたらい回し。逃げることは罪じゃない。でも現実は夢のように甘くなかった。
Huh. What is it you wish she has to show it to you? What is it you wish here I should tell you about it? Please don't expect anything. I'm sure someone like yourself who closes her eyes and ears will find no meaning in it. First time I've been able to read one of those, I think. So this kind of looks like it's Keiichi, but smarter than, you know, he's smart enough to not get involved. Let's see how this turns out. The cotton swayed as it drifted downstream. The Watanagishi ceremony must still be going on upstream. As I stared blindly at the river, pondering these thoughts, I failed to notice that Reina and the others had already moved on without me. I wasn't too worried about it, though. I've already grown familiar enough with this village to feel like one of the locals. So I decided to just relax here until someone comes back looking for me. When I turned my head, I just happened to notice a person standing off near the riverbed. Looking a little closer, it looked like a girl. Really? Why you gotta do this to me, man? With her long hair swaying about, I couldn't make out her face from behind, so I started walking closer. Maybe she heard the clatter of the gravel under my feet. She quickly turned back this way. Mion?
あ、こんばんは、ケイちゃん。
Based on manga flyers. Or manga fillers. Could be. Could very well be. No, it's her twin sister. So we know about Shion. Okay, good. Shion came out to Hinazawa to hang out with us a couple of times since the time I met her at Angel Mort, but I still have trouble telling the two of them apart from a distance. A side route. Okay. That's possible. I will take the Gaiden.
なんだ、シオンも来てたのか。
来てたらいけませんか？私だってこの村の人間なんですからね。
Well, kind of. Shion laughed mischievously after saying that. It certainly seemed like a strange thing to say.
そりゃそうか。年に一度の村祭りだもんな。
We know who she is, it looks like. It looks like we can at least kind of tell her apart from Mion at this point, so, you know.
ええ。
Shion's voice dropped slightly as she answered, and she turned toward the river. I felt a hint of discomfort. Did I say something weird?
そんなことないです。だけど、
But what?
いえ、なんでもないです。
Even if Shion said it was nothing, her expression told me otherwise. In fact, her demeanor made it pretty clear that there was something after all.
どうかしたのか？
Shion continued pensively gazing downward. Her lips were moving faintly, but I couldn't understand a single word of it. Local slang.
ケイちゃん、
Then, Shion raised her head and stared straight at me while asking a peculiar question.
もし1年に一度決まった日に何かが起こるとしたら、ケイちゃんどう思いますか？
どういう意味だ？
So we don't know about the murders, I take it at this point.
例えば事故とか事件とか。
なんか穏やかじゃないな。ひょっとしてこの祭りに来ると何かがあるってことか？
Yeah, it seems like Keiichi has not learned of the ritual sacrifices.
いえ、みんながみんなというわけじゃないんです。
Huh? That's a really roundabout way of speaking. If this was supposed to be a joke, that would have been the time to shoot at them. Who did she mean by everyone? Was she referring to someone in particular? Well, they may not have alternate artwork for these. They may not have it. Considering this game wasn't redone by anybody, I don't think. Considering it wasn't an official Manga Gamer release and didn't come with Manga Gamer sprites or anything like that, we may only have the one set of artwork. Shion and I had stopped talking for a while. Silence filled the space between us. Besides, at least this Shion has the normal-sized hands, so, you know. When it started to feel like I was choking myself, I decided to open my mouth. But just then...
ケイちゃん、タタリって信じる人ですか？
The curse. Curse? The good times are over. Yes. I don't know if you heard the cat in the background. Can I help you? My impulse reaction to Shion's abrupt question was to turn straight towards her and stare blankly.
びっくりしました。ごめんなさい。突然変なことを聞いて。
Shion followed up with a few gentle words, but I struggled to muster a response. Her serious expression seemed eerily out of place. I couldn't help but feel uneasy.
綿流しのお祭りって、お社様のたたりを鎮めるための奉納が起源なんですよ。
Shion, must you ruin everything? We just had an entire chapter of you, an entire game of you ruining everything. Must you do it here too?
その神様のたたりを鎮めるために、年に一度こうして川に綿を流しているんですね。
Mion and the others told me that much. But even so, what do they mean by a curse? Are they saying Oyashiro-sama isn't a compassionate god, but a malevolent one?
まさかシオンはタタリを信じてるのか？
いえ、私はでもこの村じゃ若い人でも結構いますよ。信じてる人。
We have Marvel fans here? Amazing.
そうなんだ。
Given her personality, I would have expected a more complete denial, but instead she was sending mixed feelings in my direction. I couldn't believe that young people in a world of modern science would believe in such a thing.
そして祭りの後、毎年起こるんです。
That sounds like a not my problem.
決まって、
But it always
ちょうど
is.
今頃に。
怒るって何が？
綿流しの日、この村の誰かが。
Shion paused for a moment and looked around her, then spoke on a low tone.
死ぬんです。
Honestly, I was finally starting to get used to life in Hinamizawa. But there were too many things I still didn't know. Like how people pretend to know nothing when you ask them about these terrible incidents that happened in the past. I knew Reina and Mion were hiding things from me. Still, they were just trying to avoid giving me a negative outlook on the village right after I moved here. Indeed, after giving it proper thought, that was the conclusion I reached. But even if it was all in the past, as a person living in Hinamizawa, I wanted to be aware of its dark history. The good times are over. In record time. I appreciated that my friends were concerned about me, but nevertheless, I had my own interests to consider, and I was oddly curious. So I wanted to hear it. I signaled for Shion to continue.
3年前の綿流しの日、それが最初でした。あるご夫婦が旅行先で崖下の濁流に転落したんです。
Wait. That seems wrong. Seems like that's off by a year for their death. Did we change something? Good grief. So I thought the first death was the foreman. Am I wrong?
旦那さんは亡くなって、奥さんは今もまだ死体すら見つかっていません。
転落って事故か？
警察の発表はそうなってますね。
The way she spoke made it clear that she had some doubts about the official story.
その翌年の綿流しの晩には、今度は神社の神主さんが原因不明で急死しました。
2 years ago.
そして神主さんの奥さんはその晩のうちに沼に入水して自殺。
Okay, so the years are correct because the next one should be the ant dying. That would be last year. They just didn't mention the foreman death. So we're cutting a year off of this for some reason.
その死体も未だに。
神社の神主ってこの神社のか？
Shion silently nodded.
またその翌年、これももちろん綿流しの番。今度はこの村の主婦が撲殺体で発見されました。
A shiver ran through me the moment I heard beaten to death. But more than that, something felt strange. When it came to the accident and the sudden illness, I felt like there was too strong a possibility that those were simply coincidental, so it seemed unrealistic to attribute them to a curse.
でも、死んだ人たちは誰もがあることに深く関係していたんです。
Deeply involved? Huh?
この村の大事件にです。
Hearing that reminded me of what Toмотaki-san told me earlier. Okay, so Toмотaki-san has already been by to ruin things. Was Takano with him? That would speed things up considerably.
ひなみ沢のダム工事。
どうして知ってるんですか？
It's kind of a big deal. They talk about it a lot. Shion's unusually strong reaction left me confused. Was it really so odd for me to know about it?
それは驚きますよ。だってみんなこの話は知らない人にはひた隠しにしていますから。まさかケイちゃんが知ってるなんて思わなかったんです。
I see. I thought that might be the case.
そうですか。知ってたんですか。この人たちはみんなダムの誘致に賛成か、あるいは反対運動に消極的だった人たちなんです。
So, in other words, the guardian god of Hinamizawa was retaliating against the dam construction project that could have submerged Hinamizawa. At least, that's what the people of Hinamizawa seem to believe. All the victims on the night of Watanagashi were people connected to the dam project and to Oyashiro-sama. However, the beating death seemed different from the other instance, because it was clearly a murder. Thinking about it that way, I started to worry that maybe the housewife beaten to death had a similar connection.
殺された主婦ってどんなやつだったんだ？その人もダム工事の反対運動に関係があるのか？
その主婦の旦那さんは旅先で転落死した夫婦の弟さんなんです。
Instead of allaying my fears, the tight connection only amplified them. The curse took her life simply because a relative of hers was a dam supporter. The curse born from the dam project, and the depths the village was willing to go to in order to keep it under wraps. The more I thought about it, the more anxious I started to feel about these incidents. Like the incident at the dam construction site. Yes, the brutal on-site murder of the manager. Okay, we already know about that.
当時は工事の継続をめぐって論議が紛糾していました。そして次第に不祥事が明るみに出て、揺れに揺れて、あのバラバラ殺人はダム計画に終止符を打った事件だったんです。
As soon as the word murder came out of Shion's mouth, I could hear it hauntingly echoing.
昭和54年の綿流しの日の深夜です。
Okay, so all the deaths are accounted for. Okay.
6人の男たちが口論の末に被害者に襲いかかったんです。はじめは殺すつもりはなかったそうです。だけど被害者がシャベルを振り回し始めると、自分たちも武器になるものを手にして一気に殺し合いにエスカレートしたんだそうです。
The angry men engaged, with sparks flying as their shovels and pickaxes collided. and the victim was the manager of the damn construction site.
容疑者たちが言うには、その現場監督は日頃からその6人の容疑者たちをいじめていたそうです。それがその夜、酒盛りが深すぎて、みんなだんだんと気が荒くなって口論となって、初めは仕返しのつもりだったらしいのですが、しまいにみんなで寄ってたかって。
More shouting. The men's enraged shouts echoed inside my head. The shovels and pickaxes collided and sparks scattered in the middle of the dark night. I could see the entire situation playing out inside my head.
気がついたら、そこには誰の目にも生きているとは思えない無残な姿が横たわっていたそうです。
A dull, dark liquid was spread across the ground. A sickening aroma lingered. And then, they all looked at their shovels and pickaxes and found them covered. Not in dirt, but something else. Still, that wasn't enough. So the suspects took the construction manager.
バラバラにしてしまった。
Why? Why would they do something so horrible?
もちろん男たちも最初は警察へ出頭しようと考えたと聞きました。だけど、リーダー格の男だけが死体を隠そうと提案したようですね。
Guess that always works.
そして迷った残りの5人も。
Their thoughts quickly honed in on the desire to avoid getting caught. Indeed, they weren't in this alone. Each of them had 5 other accomplices with them. If they all worked together to hide it, they could keep it hidden. They had all arrived at that conclusion. Plus,
死体を隠す方法がいくらでもある建設現場です。彼らはさっさと死体を隠し、その場を離れるはずでした。
I could picture 5 men desperately working, and their desire to get out of there as soon as possible. However,
リーダー格の男は他の5人がビビって自首して事件が発覚することを恐れたようです。そこで取ったのが他の5人の口封じでした。
一体どうやって？
Shion suddenly went quiet. Also, I'm pretty sure I was completely wrong when I said this is Keiichi but smart. He ain't showing that right now. It seemed like she was hesitating while deciding if she should say.
どうした、シオン？
I urged Shion to tell me. She hesitated for a moment while choosing her words, then began to speak.
死体を人数分に切断してそれぞれの責任で隠すという。
I see. The truth behind the dismemberment murder. It was divided evenly among the people involved. They each bore a piece to remind them of the sin they committed. I couldn't help but see their logic as a demonic way of thinking.
男たちは泣きながら、おののきながら、誰も逆らえませんでした。素直に従わない人もいましたが、逆にリーダー格の男に殺されることを恐れたんでしょうね。
It would have been messier, but probably a more sure way to make sure they didn't say anything.
結局全員が手を下したと聞きました。
I stood there for a while, unable to close my mouth. The damn construction conflict was a fight for the survival of Hinamizawa. And a horrific murder happened during the course of that conflict. Just realized I have my phone unplugged all night long. Plug that back in. That much I already knew, and I was just expecting to hear that again. But in fact, it was far more than just that. A murder, an accident, a deadly illness, a suicide, a beating to death. Killing, 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 killing! But I grew up in the modern era. I'd rather not believe in something like a curse. Still, these mysterious deaths keep happening every year on the day of Watanagashi. And on top of that, the victims are always directly related to the dam project. When you look at each incident individually, it's easy to see them as completely coincidental. But when they all keep adding up, it seems a lot harder to calmly brush them off as coincidences. I don't believe in curses. However, it certainly seems like someone or something is deciding that something should happen on every Watanagashi.
ちょっと待て。それじゃあ、今年の綿流しの晩にも誰か人が死ぬってことか?
Yeah, he hasn't actively searched out someone to tell him this is true, but this is the first he's hearing about it, and he has plenty of time to make that mistake.
今度は誰なんだ?
わかるわけないじゃないですか、そんなこと。
Well, of course. If she knew anything about it, she'd be trying to prevent it. An unsettling wind blew across my moist, sweaty body.
みんな口にしないけど。
I never want to say moist, sweaty body when speaking about Keiichi ever again, thanks game.
今夜また何か起こるんじゃないかって恐れているんだと思います。
それじゃあ、みんながお祭りに参加してるのは
Because they're all afraid of being cursed?
やっぱりみんな怖いんです。お社様のたたり。
I was left speechless. We're living in the Showa era. We've made incredible progress in every field of research, shining a light on the darkness of our ignorance. Black and white TVs are pretty much extinct. We managed to build a rocket that can send human beings to the moon. Nevertheless, even though we live in such a modern society, little by little I was finally starting to understand why Rina and Mion were so hesitant to talk about it. If Watanagashi ends this year without an incident, then I suppose there'd be no point in telling me anything. If nothing happens, then everything is fine. In that case, it's all needless panic. I just need to pretend that I never knew anything. The girls can act like nothing ever happened. And then we can get back to our normal, everyday lives. Okay, Keiichi is being smart about this. Don't stick your nose in where it doesn't belong. Right. If I don't know anything, then...
やっぱり言わない方が良かったですか?
いや、そんなことは。
Even though I tried my hardest to speak normally, I couldn't completely disguise the anxiety building up inside me. Then Shion continued, with no regard for whether I understood or not.
でもね、ケイちゃん、綿流しの後には死者ばかりじゃないんです。もう気づいているかもしれないですけど、一緒に誰かがいなくなるんです。
In the murder of the construction manager 4 years ago, it was the leader of the group. In the accident while on vacation, the wife was swept away by the river. The shrine priest's wife leapt into the water after his death. One person dies, and another disappears.
さっきある主婦が撲殺された話をしましたけど、その事件の後にその家の子も
行方不明に。
本当に突然に。
Shion's voice dipped even lower. I should have been able to hear the sound of the babbling stream, but that sound didn't reach my ears at all. On top of that, the voice of the Higurashi kept echoing in my ears like they weren't aware of the time. It was incredibly irritating.
事件は去年の6月20日の夜の9時頃、主婦が路上に仰向けになった形で血まみれで倒れていて。
It's so important not to talk about it. Let's continue to talk about it.
最初は中年の女性としかわからなかったそうです。
Those idiots. This isn't some big city like Tokyo. If you asked anyone in the neighborhood, they'd immediately know who you were talking about. It seemed natural for me to have my doubts about that. However, Shion's response was both scathing and horrifying.
そうですね。でも顔が完全に潰されていましたから。
Ow, my eyes. That photo negative hurts. If her face was completely destroyed, they wouldn't be able to recognize who she was. It took me a moment to realize that. But I felt a strange irritation, like a hair scraping against the inside of my ear. I had to rewind the tape just to hear those words again. Her face was crushed beyond recognition. Goosebumps erupted across my entire body, and sweat was pouring out of every available opening.
警察はその事件を恨みによる犯行だと考えたそうです。というのも犯人は後ろ頭をめちゃくちゃに叩き潰しておいて、その上さらに死体をわざわざ仰向けにして顔を潰していたんです。
Blackjack. What does it matter? This cat, I swear, this cat is needy today. The incident happened in the early summer. All that swinging must have fanned the scent of blood all around the vicinity. I suddenly felt sick as I imagined the sight and smell.
そしてその事件の後に、その家の子が行方不明になったんです。
A child of the housewife whose face was crushed disappeared without a trace. How does that fit in? There should be some logic or reason behind it. So, is anything there?
その少年は行方不明になる前にこう言っていたそうです。誰かに見張られている。後をつけられているんだって。
Anyone dealing with that mental state would be frightened by mere shadows. If that's what the kid said, I don't think there's much room to argue that. However, the story was completely different if the kid was feeling that way even before the incident happened. Then, the kid might have known that disaster was about to come down on his family.
誰かが言うんです。それはお社様のたたりの前兆だったんだって。きっとあの子は心のどこかでひなみ沢を捨てて逃げ出そうという気持ちがあったんだ。それをお社様は許さなかったんだって。
A god who won't let the villagers abandon the village? Could that be it? I couldn't believe in a god that would force that kind of devotion on people.
だからきっと今夜もまた誰かが犠牲に。
Blackjack. Goodness. What's the matter? Is that right? Is that right? Yep, cavalry has arrived. Shion's words were interrupted by a voice calling out to me. When I looked back, I saw Mion waving her arms while running in my direction.
いやー、ごめん一人にさせちゃって。あれ、シオン？こんばんは、お姉。何か用ですか？用って用がないと来ちゃいけないの？
Oh god, why does she have those eyes? For a split second, Mion's voice had the hot breath of a beast behind it and a bloody aroma that drifted all around me. That hot breath filled the area and made all the hairs of my body stand on end. Was I the only one who felt it? I took a sideways glance at Shion's face. There was no mistaking the narrow look in Shion's eyes. It seemed obvious that she felt something from Mion's words. But Shion took it in stride and shrugged her shoulders, then answered in a light tone.
ただ何か用があるのかなって聞いてみただけです。
She was deliberately prodding at her sister's heart.
あっそ。
The next moment, Mion let out a pleasantly boisterous laugh. All the tension that was building up released at once, and a feeling of relief instantly came over me. Even though my heart couldn't fully comprehend the situation, I let out a sigh of relief, or something like that. And yet...
私はてっきりなんかいけない話でもしてるところに来ちゃったかなって思ってね。
Those are good instincts. Trust those instincts.
いけない話って何ですか？さあ、私が聞いてるんだけど。
The restless atmosphere came flowing back. Then, Shion lightly smiled.
あ、そうですね。何ですか？いけない話って。
I faintly tilted my head to the side. Mion's expression grew more tense as she attempted to dodge the question. But a moment later, Mion returned to her usual carefree expression. And then...
だからさ、シオン。今日のバイトは休みなの？え、今何時ですか？もうこんな時間だよ。
Mion pointed to her watch.
いけない。思ったより遅くなっちゃいましたね。だからいけない理由でもあるのかって聞いたんだって。
Eh? What was no good?
ありがとうね、教えてくれて。ケイちゃん、ごめんなさい。私、そろそろバイトに行きますね。
Head to work. At this time of night? Really? After saying that, Shion walked off at a brisk pace. Mion let out a sigh while watching her from behind. I guess it couldn't be helped, so I quickly forced a smile in response.
シオンのやつ、なんだって？
She asked that so suddenly, my voice got caught in the back of my throat.
あの子、ケイちゃんに何か言ったの？
いや、別に。
なんで隠すの？
え？
隠したってすぐにわかるんだからね。おじさんを煙に巻こうったってそうはいかないよ。
I sensed a bright light glimmering in the back of Mion's piercing gaze. I couldn't find the words to respond. I hesitated for a while, deciding if I ought to repeat what Shion told me. It was a story that Mion and the others were trying to keep hidden. I turned my gaze downward as I wrestled to find the right words. I could see tons of cotton floating down the river by my feet. But why? Was it because of the chilling story I heard? The piles of cotton started to resemble slabs of meat sliding down a conveyor belt. That's kind of appropriate, really. Suddenly I felt like I had to throw up.
ケイちゃん？
I was bent over, holding a hand to my mouth.
大丈夫？
Mion put a hand on my shoulder. Her hand was filled with soft, gentle warmth. I started to calm down.
ごめんね。ちょっときつい言い方になっちゃったね。
You almost made him throw up.
でも、気にしちゃダメだからね。あの子って悪趣味なこと言って人のことをからかう癖があるからさ。
大丈夫だって。変なことなんか聞いてない。
本当？
本当だ。
本当に本当？
本当だって。
Mion carefully looked me over.
変だぞ、ミオ。お前こそ嫌に勘ぐってないか？
いや、おじさんはなんていうか、こんな暗いところで二人っきり何してたのかなってさ。
How far from the last inch of his life would Keiichi be beaten if he said, "Oh, we were just making out"? Just curious.
なんだよそれ。意味がわからん。
いやいや、真っ赤に燃える太陽の季節ってか？
さらに意味不明な上に、今は夜だし。
Yeah, Mion, you're not making a whole lot of sense.
なんて。おじさん、気の回しすぎかな。
The conversation had steered in an awkward direction. But I still felt terrible for being unable to talk to Mion about what Shion was telling me. And as a result, I couldn't even bring myself to ask if Shion's story was true or not. I could still see a hint of doubt on Mion's face, so I just vaguely laughed along with her. I looked back in the direction of that voice and saw Reina bouncing up and down while running towards me. Satoko and Rika-chan were panting heavily while running behind her.
ごめんなさいま
And hello, Carmendi.
せ。圭一さんのことすっかり忘れておりましたわ。
何？俺のことを忘れるとは不届き天番。
嘘なのです。ちゃんと探していたのです。ただお話に夢中になってしまっていただけなのです。
You know, I kind of like this artwork for Satoko. Then why say you forgot about me?
話だけじゃございませんわ。夜店で売ってるお菓子も悪かったのですわよ。私たちに落ち度はございませんわ。あんず飴とっても美味しかったよね。よね。
You guys really forgot about me! The three of them looked at each other and grinned. I meekly leaned back and looked up toward the sky. You guys, you're all so...
Oi, minna!
Then
Tomitake-san came over to us.
あら、富武さんじゃございませんこと。富武、ちょうどよかったのです。
Just in time for what? Ruining everything? That's been handled.
今日の射的の結果発表だよ。
そうだったね。結局ビリは僕なのかな？
Today's game ended with my dramatic victory, but was followed by a fierce battle to avoid last place. Rika-chan was the last one to take the challenge, but by then there were hardly any targets left. And the few targets that did remain were as small as a box of matches. Rika-chan tried to aiming at her target, but the counter was too tall. It's impossible to maintain a stable posture while standing on your tiptoes. Not even I could pull that off. On top of that, the gun was so heavy her arms couldn't help but shake. Everything added up to an impossible task. Nevertheless, it's a cutthroat, competitive world. Even if you're at a disadvantage, you need to rise above it using your own strength in order to proceed. Strike back at your enemies. That's the law governing our club activities, our core value. With that in mind, I had no choice but to encourage Rika-chan. In other words, with three of us already out of the picture, her best option was to tie it up with Tomitake-san. That's what I thought, anyway. However, battle-hardened Rika-chan had the most powerful weapon of all hidden behind her back. And that weapon was... that she started suddenly crying, "Me, me," in front of the stall, forcing the shopkeeper into a dilemma. Naturally, the guests walking by assumed the shopkeeper was the one who made her cry. So they all began coldly glaring at him. He couldn't be helped. He couldn't resist the young lady, so he handed her a pack of gum. In the end, there was nothing Tomitake-san could do to beat that. Rika-chan was like a sly fox, or a cunning tanuki.
圭一、ひどいことを考えているのです。
I don't know, they're pretty complimentary of you.
僕は立派な人間なのですよ。コンコン。
That's not Mew Mew. Ultimately, I decided her feigned crying felt more fox-like.
というわけで富武さんがビリに決定。
An uproar of applause rang out.
そりゃどうもありがとう。
Tomataki-san seemed a bit confused and shyly scratched the back of his neck. How sad, he was completely blindsided by the horrors of this group.
どういう意味だい？
いやいや、ケイちゃんは運がいいな富武さんって言ってるんだよ。
そうなのですよ。とてもラッキーなのです。強運の持ち主でございますわ。羨ましい限りでございます。
If you're so envious, you're welcome to trade places.
いいのいいの。運が良くて羨ましいな。はう。
They're all demons.
じゃあ富武さん、覚悟はいいかな？罰ゲーム。
ああ、そうか。忘れてた。
Well, we haven't forgotten our part. Mion pulled a magic marker out of her pocket. She has a mischievous look on her face. The ink looks oily. I hope she's at least using something water-based.
ダメだよ、油性じゃなきゃ。洗ったら落ちちゃうでしょ。
なんだいなんだい。それで書くの？
Everyone worked together to hold Tomataki-san in place while Mion slowly approached with the marker in hand. The tension in the air was frightening.
それそれ。はい、キュッキュッキュッだね。
But Mion didn't write on Tomataki-san's face, it was on his shirt. Hope you make your major debut soon, Mion. Then Rika-chan was next to take a turn with the marker. Even if you came in last place, you're number one in my heart, Rika. It made me smile bitterly.
これじゃ罰ゲームじゃなくて寄せ書きだね。
私は甘くはありませんのよ。ちゃんと罰ゲームでいきますわ。
Hope you come in last place again next time. Satoko.
次は圭一さんの番でございますわよ。
I still wasn't sure what to write, but considering this was a penalty, I thought of something that seemed appropriate. Let's play again next time you're here, Keiji. And finally, I handed the marker to Reina. Reina hummed to herself as she considered what to write, but then she wrote something in a flash. Please show us your photos next time, Sparkle Sparkle. Reina. Tomataki-san's eyes were open wide when we started. By the end, he was smiling gleefully.
これ着たままで東京に帰らなきゃいけないのかな。
もちろん罰ゲームだもん。ちゃんと着たまま帰ってね。
次に来る時にも着てきてくれるといいな。いいな。
He looked deeply moved. His face was bright red, and a mix of embarrassment and a variety of other emotions.
わかった。次に来る時もこれを着てくれよ。約束する。
Oh, that's right. Rain asked him to show us his photos next time.
そうだよ。富武さん、みんなの写真撮ってよ。
そうだな。記念写真を撮ろう。
As Tomataki-san said that, he laid down a tripod and configured the self-timer.
いいかい？撮るよ。はい、チーズ。
Everyone clapped and cheered in excitement. This was the perfect parting gift from a group of friends. Suddenly I noticed a woman in the vicinity looking towards Tomotaki-san. Apparently Tomotaki-san had noticed her too, so I figured it was time to say farewell.
おやおや、お連れ様がお待ちですか？そろそろお時間かな。
えそうみたいだね。
Tomotaki-san walked over to the woman, and it looked like he was apologizing for keeping her waiting. We all took turns shouting goodbye to Tomotaki-san. Each time he turned back and waved his hand. Eventually he disappeared into the darkness of the night.
行っちゃったね。
じゃあ、おじさんは後片付けがあるからここで。
Mion was apparently involved with post-festival cleanup, and Rika-chan needed to attend some meeting with the executive committee members. Satoko was going to stick along with her as well. So, Reina and I decided to break off here and head home together.
じゃあね、ケイちゃん。また明日。
Then, Mion waved her hand.
あ、ミオン。
Mion suddenly stopped when I called out to her. I wanted to ask about the incident and why she wouldn't tell me about it. But then I remembered that the victims in the incidents were people opposed to the dam project. In other words, they were enemies of the Sonozaki family. So in the end, I couldn't bring myself to ask about it.
また明日な。
That was all I could say.
また明日。
I had a vaguely confused look on my face as I saw Mion off. As I did that, Reina looked back at me with a blank expression. Fair enough. We get to close off the chapter on just a slightly disconcerted look. Did I get tips? I got tips. It didn't mention that I got tips, but I got tips. Okay. Notice there was no mid-chapter break? From an evening paper on June XX 1980. Around 2 p.m. on XX Day, an office worker from Hinamizawa Village in the Shishibane City region, dubbed Triple X-san, and his wife Quadruple X-san both went missing after falling into a mountain stream 27 meters below an observation deck in Shirakawa National Park. Maybe? Police and firefighters searching downstream located the body of Triple X-san around 7 p.m. the same night. The wife, Quadruple X-san, had still not been located. The mountain stream is especially active due to a Category 3 typhoon the other day, making the search more difficult. Did we actually see this last time? I don't remember it actually mentioning the Category 3 typhoon the first time I looked through these. Husband and wife were both leaning against the fence of the observation deck and both fell when the fence broke. The fence was old and poor condition, so police were questioning concerned parties determined the park facility personnel were taking adequate precautions. Why would we get the Onikakushi tips? I mean, I didn't replace the Onikakushi. The Onikakushi chapter 1, this is chapter 4's framework. I don't get why we would get those. Huh. Well, let's read it anyway. It's been so long since we've done Onikakushi, though. Never published in newspapers. Okay, fair enough. I don't think we've run into that before. I think that's new. I think that's new.